Who is working in an organization? Well, that's pretty simple. It's people, right? It's human beings that gather each morning and do some jobs and tasks together. So it's human beings working in an organization. But from an organizational standpoint, the human part of people is not so important. It's rather the functional roles that people have. So you have experts, you have engineers, you have leaders, you have managers, you have a lot of different roles, and organizations have a lot of roles. And they are also, if you look into an org chart, they are also positioned on hierarchical layers. So each person has a position, has a reporting line, and so on and so on. And that's important for an organization to, view the roles and functions of each individual, because that makes an organization work. And even if a person steps out, a new person steps into a new role, the organization continues to work. So it doesn't matter if we like the people that we work with, because everyone has a job description, has a role and a function, and these functions can work with each other. That's one side. On the other side, you as a leader, you probably experience that a lot of conflict, a lot of struggles, they don't come from just, two functions are not well designed or a job description is not clear enough. It's basically because human beings have desires and needs and emotions, and they get in conflict with each other. But that's not part of your organizational role. So as a leader, I think we need to establish two different viewpoints. One is taking care that each person in its function and role can work. The job is well designed. The way people collaborate is well designed. That's one side. The other side is also, in certain situations, we must be able to switch our perspectives and don't just see the function, but also see the human being that takes that function with individual and unique personality. And very often we have no idea how people come to work. We don't see the struggles mom had in the morning to, get up the kids and bring them to school or kindergarten. We don't see the emotions of a person that just, its father passed away last week, and a lot more. We don't see these struggles, and from an organizational standpoint, they don't matter. But from a human standpoint, they really matter, because for these individuals, that's probably the foremost and most important part and the most important emotion that impacts their daily life and also their job. So consider yourself. Maybe you remember a day when you are angry or you are exhausted, you feel stressed, you feel depressed, and a strong emotion is kind of overlaying your behavior, your decision making, the way you get in contact with other people, the way you communicate, and so this emotion is kind of impacting your behavior in a specific day or even a longer period. And the same happens, and that's now switching perspectives, the same happens to your team or to your department. As long as people come together for work and fulfilling, tasks and projects, they will also bring all their emotions and needs and desires to work. And of course, we need that functional viewpoint, but we also need the human viewpoint as well. So what can we do as a leader? How can we deal with that? First of all, establishing and cultivating something like empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand other thoughts, other viewpoints, but also feel the emotions others have, like anxiety, stress, and so on. This doesn't mean that we fall into that emotion and feel stressed and anxious as well. This doesn't mean, okay, we can talk about this emotion. It has a huge part today. It impacts our behavior. Let's articulate it. And for your team member, this makes him or her feel safe. It's okay to have these emotions. And very often when we think about a conflict between you and a team member, or between other leaders, or between people in your team, the solution is not, designing a new task or redefining a project or a goal or a process or whatever. It's rather listen to people, being empathetic, share an emotion, being able to talk about that emotion without the need to solve people's issues. That's not the deal. But to get in a resonance and creating something called psychological safety, creating a safe space for people where they feel, I don't just need to fulfill all my jobs and tasks, but I can also be a human being with all my needs and desires and emotions. And it's okay to have those emotions. We have the ability to, make it visible, articulate, and maybe even find a solution not in the functional role of a person, but rather as a human being. And that's a shift. In new leadership, we shift from pure functional roles into a more holistic view on relationships. So the relationships that we aim for is, on the one side, yes, well-designed functional roles and clarity about functions and roles, but also the ability to see others as human beings with their needs and desires and emotions, and integrate the human beings into your organization. So 2 viewpoints, both are important, and we as leaders, we must understand when do we have to switch from one perspective to the other. Thank you.